obviously, I want to welcome everybody to the 2017 Midland Police Department Awards Ceremony. Obviously, I truly appreciate all the attendance. We got a great representation from the police department, and we do have a SWAT team that's up in training in Alpena, so we're missing about 7 members that couldn't be here because of that. So we got quite a good representation of officers. And also thank you for the public for being here as well. I truly appreciate you being here. This is just our second annual ceremony, so we had the first one last year to kick things off. This is the brainchild of a strap planning session that we did, and then the awards committee that got together that made this all happen. So the ceremony is being planned and will always be planned to be on this particular week of the year, and that being significance because of the May 15th being Police Officer Memorial Day, and then this week being designated as National Police Week. So we do it for that purpose. It's an opportunity for us to honor those that have fallen, but also it's a time for us to honor those who serve and have served in what I consider to be one of the most noblest of professions. So today is a great day for us to further recognize and honor and celebrate those team members currently serving our community, whom due to their dedication are here to receive bars and or certificates for recognition of service, recognition of position, or for major awards. As we prepare to begin the actual distribution of recognitions and awards, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the very dedicated, hardworking individuals that help make this thing happen. So when I call your name, I want you to please stand and remain standing until I invite you to sit down. If I can please have the committee chair for the awards committee, Officer Travis Tilth, stand. Officer Brennan Warren. Sergeant Dan Keeler. Lieutenant Matthew Burchard, who's already standing. There's also Officer Joshua Thieland, who's up at SWAT camp right now and could not be here with us. And Officer Lucas Huss, who is currently home with a brand new member of the family. So obviously they got other things that they're working on right now. So I'd like to again thank you for all your hard work and dedication to make this program happen and to get what we've got now. I think this is a fantastic new thing that we're doing for the department to recognize all of you that truly deserve to be recognized. So thank you. At this time, I'd like to have Lieutenant Matthew Burchard please come to the podium. He's going to provide some of the awards. Thank you, Chief.
All right, within our department, as you know, and members of the public, within our department we have lots of different jobs that need to be done and lots of different special positions that need to be filled. So it's my honor to recognize some of those special positions. And looking at the program, there are, as the chief said, a few of our members that were unable to be here, so I'll be recognizing the ones that are here. Our field training officers, when I call your name, please come up. Chuck Brown, and accepting on behalf of Officer Michael Bess, his wife Emma Bess. These two individuals and Officer Lucas Huss would be our newest field training officers to train our new recruits as they join our ranks. So. The next position I'd like to recognize is that of use of force instructor. Our use of force instructors encompass any instruction we use in the use of force, such as firearms, taser, pepper spray, and whatnot. The officers being recognized for this today are Officer Jeff Kraus and Officer Andy Hawkins. Gentlemen, thank you for stepping up and becoming use of force instructors. The next recognition is for our dive team. This is a joint team with us and the Sheriff's Office. 2 of our members have been selected to be members of that team, so I'd like to call Sergeant Dan Keeler and Officer Tyler Hollingsworth. member of the dive team is something that is near and dear to my heart as I served on it for many years. Gentlemen, always follow the bubbles up. And lastly, I'd just like to recognize our newest SWAT team members, both of which could not be here today. Officer Mitch Eddy, and accepting for Officer Michael Bess, again, Emma Bess. She already got it. Oh, that's right. We did. We did. All right. I forgot that. I was supposed to do that way. That's my fault. All right. Nice round of applause for this. Next, I'd like to call Officer Travis Toth to come up and present the Physical Fitness Awards.
Physical fitness plays a large role as far as officer safety as well as overall officer wellness. MPD has an annual physical fitness test with 2 different standards that are being awarded today. The physical fitness test consists of push-ups and sit-ups in a minute, as well as either a 1.5-mile run or a 3-mile walk. If officers complete all 3 tests with a score of 70 points or higher, they are awarded the Standard Physical Fitness Award. If officers complete all 3 tests with a score of 85 points or higher, they're awarded the Advanced Physical Fitness Award. The following officers are recipients of the Standard Physical Fitness Award. Please come forward. Detective Sergeant Loubser. Officer Bess, who's not here, so on behalf of Officer Bess, and Officer Warren. And the following officers that are being brought forward are the recipients of the Advanced Physical Fitness Award. Deputy Chief Roten. Lieutenant Burchert. Lieutenant Sokol. Officer Dubois. Officer Mahavir, who's out on training right now, as well as Officer Thielen. Officer Brown. And Officer McKenna. These are the recipients of the Physical Fitness Award. And Deputy Chief Roten, if you could come forward for the years of conduct, or good conduct, and years of service citations.
Welcome everybody. Again, thank you for coming. The officers I'm going to recognize now are those who are being recognized for their good conduct while employed as a Midland police officer, and also for the years of service to the community. As you will see in your handout, good conduct is awarded to an officer who for 5 consecutive years has not had any written reprimand or more severe discipline. In the event of an officer receiving a written reprimand or more severe discipline, the 5-year calendar begins the date the discipline is levied. So these people are being recognized for not having any write-ups or being in any trouble. Fantastic conduct. And the years of service, we recognize every 5 years from the officer's hire date. An emblem bar is presented with an additional star for each additional 5 years of service. So for these officers to be recognized now, could we have Michael Sokol come up, please? For his 3rd good conduct. Joe Schneider, he is not here today, but it should be recognized that Joe Schneider has completed 25 years of service. He had 0 write-ups. He had good conduct his entire 25 years. That deserves a round of applause right there, even though he's not here.
I can't even say that, just so you know.
Also not present, but to be recognized, is Sergeant Corey Armstead. He has 1 certificate of good conduct and 5 years of service. So he's on the path now to also receive those 5 stars 20 years from now. Officer Scott Coyle, 10 years of service. Not here, but to be recognized is rotating detective Jay Gatrill, 2 ribbons of good conduct, and 10 years of service. So he is also on the path of 5 stars. Officer Paul McDonald for good conduct and 5 years of service. Officer Jennifer Laverack, she unfortunately got tied up in a call just before the ceremony started, so she can't be with us today. But to be recognized, she will get a certificate of good conduct and a 5 years of service. So she's on the path as well. Officer Joshua Thielen, as mentioned, he's in the SWAT team. He's being recognized for 1 good conduct and 5 years of service. Excuse me. So as you can see, we got a lot of officers that are on the path of 5 stars. And presenting Emma Bess for Officer Mike Bess, 1 good conduct and 5 years of service. Another one on the path. And these are your officers to be recognized for good conduct and years of service.
Okay, moving on to some of the other major awards, and as you follow your program, you'll see the next one on there is the Department Citation Award. The departmental citation is awarded to an employee for an outstanding act, which brings credit to the department and involves performance above and beyond the employee's basic responsibility, or which the awards committee wishes to formally recognize as an act of outstanding achievement. This time I have Officer Tate come to the stage, please. Stand there while I read all this, so you're in a spotlight for a while. So
Okay.
Take center stage, please. On August 21st, 2016, Officer Tate began an investigation into a residential break-in and entering complaint that he worked over a period of several different days. Officer Tate, through his investigation, interviewed and re-interviewed several individuals and other witnesses, and through his investigation, he was able to identify the suspects and recover the stolen property. Officer Tate was able to bring this case to a close by conducting a thorough investigation that went beyond the basic answering of the call for service. Through his investigation, he was able to also recover stolen property from another complaint, which is filed with the Midland Police Department. And the importance of this, too, is the fact that a lot of times we'll take the initial report and we'll take the Detective Bureau and follow up, but Officer Tate continued, and like I say, kept re-interviewing and interviewing other people to get to the bottom of it, and in that case actually solved two different cases. The Midland Police Department Awards Committee would like to recognize Officer Tate for going above and beyond his basic duties. Officer Tate is being therefore awarded the department citation for his actions. Unless you want to stay up there for a little longer. In your program next, you'll also see there's Stephen Pomerke is listed. He is not here today, unfortunately, not able to be in attendance. But I think it's still important to recognize him here for his work. In May of 2016, Officer Pomerke was one of 2 officers assisting a citizen having suicidal thoughts. During the course of the contact, the subject ran into a busy roadway without checking for traffic. Officer Pomerke disregarded his own safety and thought only of the vulnerable person at the moment, and who was not also in their right mind. Obviously, running out in traffic is not a good thing to do. Officer Pomerke followed the subject in the roadway as they returned the citizen to safety of the roadside, where the subject was taken to receive mental health treatment. So Officer Pomerke's quick thinking and action to ensure the safety of a person whom did not care for their own safety brings credit to the department and his outstanding act, and for that reason, the awards committee wishes to recognize Officer Pomerke with the Department Citation Award. Although he's not here, I'd still like to give him a round of applause. I can please have Officer Robert Hager and Officer Sean Hanley up at center stage. On January 6, 2016, at 5:39 in the morning, Officers Hager and Hanley, along with other officers from the Midland Police Department and the Midland County Sheriff's Office, responded to a business parking lot at 2500 North block of North Saginaw Road for a report of a male armed with a gun holding victims against their will inside of a car. Officers Hanley and Hager located the suspect. The suspect exited the vehicle, and upon seeing the officers, went back in the vehicle very quickly, for obvious reasons. The suspect refused to obey the officer's orders to exit the vehicle and kept reaching into his sweatshirt. Officers were able to successfully remove the suspect from the vehicle and restrain him, despite his fighting with officers both inside and outside of the vehicle. After gaining compliance, officers located cocaine and legal prescription medications on the suspect, and inside of the vehicle was a loaded handgun. This was also later to be found to be stolen after the investigation. The Midland Police Department Awards Committee wished to recognize Officer Hager and Officer Hanley for their actions on the morning of January 6th, bring great credit to themselves, to the Midland Police Department, and our chosen profession. It's with great pleasure that they award Officer Hager and Officer Hanley the Midland Police Department's Department Citation. Now you're seated. Come on back up, Sean.
That was planned.
Center stage once again. Next in the program is the Professional Excellence Award. The award for professional excellence may be presented in recognition of an unusual or outstanding police services performed by members of the department when, in the opinion of this committee, such actions are not specifically outlined in one of the other departmental awards, but still warrant some recognition. On May 13th, 2016, Officer Hanley responded to the 1400 block of Springfield Drive to serve a subpoena, something that we do all the time, every day. Pretty mundane thing normally, not much happens, unless they don't want the subpoena, they don't want to enter the door. But anyway, pretty mundane thing. While Officer Hanley was walking up the residence, he noticed the front door to be open approximately 3 inches. Officer Hanley looked in the residence through the 3-inch gap and noted an unresponsive female lying on the bed. Officer Hanley loudly announced his presence. However, the female failed to respond. Officer Hanley further viewed the female and determined it did not appear she was breathing. Officer Hanley then entered the residence and checked for a pulse in the female. However, he was unable to find one at the time. Officer Hanley called for EMS personnel to respond to his location, and she was transported to the emergency room. Through the investigation, it determined the female lived by herself and had just overdosed on heroin. The female later recovered while in the hospital. With his quick reaction to this unusual situation at hand and going the extra step, it's with great pleasure that Officer Hanley be given the award for professional excellence. I won't call you up again, I promise. All right. And the last award on our agenda here is the Life Saving Award. The Life Saver Award is given to an officer who performs a duty that directly results in an individual's life being saved or prolonged to the extent in which medical professionals respond and care for the victim. On May 31st, 2016, at approximately 10:37 p.m., Officer Bess was dispatched to the 5100 block of Tucker for a possible drug overdose. Officer Bess was already in that area during that time of the call due to self-initiated investigation on drug activity. Officer Bess was familiar with the residence that he was dispatched to, as well as a suspected individual needing medical attention. Due to this knowledge and information, Officer Bess made the decision to bring in his Naloxone nasal injector, what people call Narcan, with him inside the residence. That's something that we had just received not too awful long ago in that previous year. It wasn't always a common thing people thought about. We looked at cases where officers responded and didn't think about that right away. Officer Best thought about that right away. Once Officer Best made contact with the subject, he found the individual unresponsive with shallow breathing and a weak pulse. Officer Best attempted to gain stimulus from the patient by using the sternum rub, and he still received no response. At this time, Officer Best injected 1 milligram of naloxone into each nostril. The patient remained unconscious, but the vital signs did improve, including the pulse and the respirations. The Michigan Medical Center EMS and the Midland Fire Department arrived soon after and took over care of the individual. Due to Officer Best's diligent investigation prior to the incident, for being in the area and just because he's investigating drug crime in the area, as well as his quick thinking, the response time administration of the Narcan was delivered quickly, likely saving the individual's life. So with great pleasure and appreciation that Officer Best is awarded the Midland Police Department Lifesaving Award. And once again, we'll have Emma Best come up, and she can receive that award on his behalf. I'm starting to wonder if Mike just didn't want to go up and down.
He didn't.
Yeah,
He put me in heels for this.
that's what I was wondering here. So as we finally bring the ceremony to close, I'd like to thank all of you for being today and recognizing our officers. I certainly appreciate that. But not only the officers that were acknowledged today, because all of these officers in the room today are doing fantastic work on a daily basis. I think those that know the officers and that work with the officers are certainly fully aware of that. And they do so and serve our community with the utmost of integrity and professionalism and follow our core values. I've now had the pleasure of being a member of this department now for moving on 25 years. I just made my 24th, going on 25. And I can tell you that I am surely grateful of the quality of officers that we have before you and that work in this community of Midland to keep us safe. And it's a place where a lot of us work, obviously, the ones that work here, but you as well, that we live, we laugh, we play, and we visit. It's a great community. And part of the reason it's a great community is because of the wonderful members of the Midland Police Department that keep us safe. And Sheriff's here too, so I'll give you a little kudos too, Sheriff. You help too, we appreciate that. So I really want to take a moment just to say, I really truly thank you. You don't hear that enough from me sometimes. I try to do my best to be out there and provide appreciation when I get a lot of comments from the community and reach out to you. But I want to tell you from my bottom of my heart, I truly appreciate the hard work you guys do. I truly appreciate with all the negativity going around and all the issues that we're currently in this current year and the previous years have been facing. You come to work, you put on the badge, you go out there and you do darn good police work. So I really appreciate what you do from the bottom of my heart. So sincerely, you do great work. And I appreciate all of you being here to recognize the officers that are out there every day, putting on the badge, putting their lives in danger to help keep the community safe and do the best that we can for the city of Midland. So again, thank you for being here as well. I appreciate your being here as well. So thank you for being here. That does conclude our ceremony today. We do have some cake and we have some punch, I believe, as well. So please come around, chat with the officers, spend a little time with us. So we'd appreciate that. And thank you again for being here. Appreciate it. Thank you.